right. Well, how excited are you to bring Smith Kotzen to the Bangers Open Air Festival? You're playing with
Uh,
bands like Within Temptation, Winger, Nevermore, so many others. How excited are you?
I'm beyond excited. Uh, we just did a 5 week tour in Europe. It was such a blast. We had a great time, and just looking forward to getting down to Brazil. And always love playing down there. The fans are great, and I think they're really going to enjoy what we're doing. Well, I hope so anyway.
You have two talented Brazilians in the band. We have Julia Lage on the bass, Bruno Valverde on the drums. We know Julia is Richie's wife, but I'm curious to know how Bruno ended up joining you guys.
It was several years ago after we did the first album. We were doing we were going to do some dates in California, just a short run of dates, just to try some stuff out. And we tried a couple of drummers, couple of well-known drummers actually. And Richie and Julia, I think, obviously Julia knew Bruno. I think she said, "Well, why don't we try Bruno? Because we got Julia in the band, and she was great." So we tried Bruno, and Julia and Bruno playing together was just took things to a different level, and it made the song sound great. So that's how. I mean, it was through Julia. I think Julia knew Bruno, and of course Bruno plays with lots of other people.
That's great. And Bruno
Yeah,
plays in a band called Angra, which in the
yeah,
90s, many fans in Brazil saw as kinds of a Brazilian version of Iron Maiden. Are you familiar with Angra? Have you heard anything from them?
yeah. Of course, I've heard of them. Yeah. As a matter of fact, we've got a little joke in the Smith Kotzen thing because Angra, I think, when we play, I think they're headlining on the same day that we're playing. So
Yeah,
Bruno's headlining over us. So we're saying on that day, Bruno's going to be the boss. He's going to be telling us what to do. His drum kit's going to be at the front of the stage. Bruno's a great guy. He's an incredible drummer. He's a great guy, to work with. So, and like I say, him and Julia just elevate the whole thing. So, and it's good fun too.
that's amazing. That's the Brazilian groove with you guys.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it works.
Yeah, and this year has been quite active for Smith Kotzen. You have already done around 20 shows, if I'm not mistaken. It's more than in any other year for the band. How has it been finally to be able to tour properly with Richie?
It's been wonderful, to have a good. Like I say, I think 4 years ago we had a run of shows, but this is the first proper run we've had. I think it was 23 or 25 shows. Playing virtually every night. It's been great, and the thing is evolving as we go along because we don't play things the same every night. So I mean, especially Richie is very spontaneous. I think in his solo band, he's used to a lot more improvisation. So he improvises a lot. It's not really my thing because I've never really done that, but I'm starting to get into it a little bit. So the songs change every night. So I mean, that's interesting. With Iron Maiden, for example, we don't really change the songs because we have the lighting cues and the backdrops and everything as a whole show. So it's not really flexible. But with Richie and I, it's much more intimate and casual. Having said that, we're playing the Banger will be the biggest show we've done so far. So that'd be an experience. I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watch you guys. And when I interviewed Richie at the time of the release of the Black Lights White Noise album, I asked him to describe your style as guitarist and singer. He
Oh,
described
really?
you as very melodic and soulful on the
Oh,
guitar, and he said that you have a very natural and catchy voice tone. I totally agree with him, of course, but I'd like to ask the same question for you about Richie. How would you describe Richie as a guitarist and as a singer?
well, he's obviously a very natural player. He's technique-wise, he's very, very advanced. Probably, he's played he's played a lot of different styles compared to what I am. I'm pretty much straight ahead rock player. Richie's got jazz influences. He also started playing the guitar when he was very young. I think he was only 8 years old. I got in. I wanted to be in a band and sort of play guitar later. I started singing initially to be in a band with Dave Murray because me and Dave Murray from Maiden were the only two guys in our neighbourhood who had long hair. So we sort of became friends. But I mean, Richie started playing, and he's really studied the guitar. You know, you can tell he's really studied. You know, his voice. I think he said he's worked on his voice over the years, but he must have a natural singing voice. But he has worked on it, and he knows a lot of techniques. He has a great range and a great tone. You know, so it's great to work. It's always been something that I've wanted to do, is work with another singer, but it's very difficult to find someone who's willing to share the spotlight, kind of, so to speak. But that's been my ideal for years, and it's just lucky I I bumped into Richie when I did. You know,
of course, there's the songwriting part, and you both are different musicians, but you have a lot in common also. How is the process specifically of writing the songs, of creating the songs? Probably you have some different methods, different ways to create, but how do you blend this together when you talk about creating?
Yeah, well, it's just the two of us when we're writing and recording at the same time, and we develop the ideas, and the writing sessions become what you hear on the record. Usually, I'll bring in an idea like a riff and a tempo and a feel for the song, and this is the type of thing. And Richie will come up with a chorus. I mean, he sings a lot of the choruses because he has more range and he'll go higher. But he always, it's quite amazing. He'll always have something melodic. I mean, straight away. It's very quick, and that is the beauty of it. I think if you have to labour too much over something, I mean, rock music is kind of supposed to be spontaneous, and I don't think it's something you can really labour over and worry about too much. But with us, it works very quick, and he's just got a knack of coming up with great man. It doesn't always work like that. Sometimes I'll write a chorus, but we just bounce off each other. So that's the way it works.
That's great. And just our curiosity, how is your relationship with singing? Because you sang in another project before, some projects, but is it something you enjoy doing? Would you have liked to sing more throughout your career? What is your relationship with that?
Well, like I said, when I was 15, 16, I met Dave Murray. Dave Murray had been playing guitar for a couple of years already, and I thought he was an amazing guitarist, at the time. He pretty much sounded like he does now. It's the same in essence. So I wanted to be in a band, so I said, well, I'll try singing. And I've never really sang before, apart from a few kids' talent shows. My mum used to put me to get up on stage and put me in a contest, a couple of times. So there was something in there. So I just started singing when I was about 15, and I did it right through until just before I did join Maiden. I've always fronted the band. And I kind of paid my dues playing the clubs and pubs in England, even a little bit in Europe, did some touring. So I had some experience. I didn't really know technically. I just used to get up there and sort of belt it out, I think since then, having done albums, I did ASAP album in the 90s where I sang, and a couple of things after that. So it's always been in there. I'm having a chance to work on it a bit. It's amazing how you can take something that you have naturally and expand it and work on it and make it better and increase your range and your endurance. And it's nice, let's face it, I've been doing this a long time. So to do something new or relatively new or different to what I've done for the past 20 years, it's a great expression. I absolutely love singing. I have my limitations, but like I say, I'm pushing my boundaries and playing live. It really it ups your game, especially playing with Richie, who's an incredible singer. So trying to make that work, and for some reason it works, and I love doing it anyway. So that's the main thing,
That's great, man. And since Iron Maiden won't be doing any shows next year, as it was announced before, are there any plans to do more concerts with Richie during this time?
I think, yeah. I mean, nothing concrete yet, but absolutely would love to do some more shows, yeah. So we'll see. But we've got plenty of time to sort it out. I've got a very, very busy year with Maiden. Just done the Smith Kotzen thing. So, but I would say more than likely we'd do some shows, yeah.
That's great. And I need to ask you some final questions about Iron Maiden because you know how much Brazil also loves Iron Maiden. And I
Yeah.
had the privilege of watching the new documentary, Burning Ambition. How did you guys have the idea of placing the fans at the center of the film's narrative, giving a voice to them, many of them?
Well, right off the bat, it was nothing to do with Iron Maiden. The film company approached the management and talked about it. We're not actually in the film being interviewed, like this. It's just our kind of voices on top of,
Yeah.
narration, so, which is, I think, it's kind of cool. We haven't done it before. There's a few things in there that haven't been covered. It's lovely to have a document, personally, to look back and have it laid out in the film. I thought it would be uncomfortable for me to watch because, actors and people like that, when they see themselves on a big screen, it's like, oh my God, But I actually quite enjoyed it, and I think the fans are gonna love it, and maybe even people who don't really know about Maiden might be interested in it because it is a phenomenon, what's happened to us over the years, and it's been great to be a part of it, a part of the ride, really.
Absolutely. And for my last question, because Brazil appeared quite a bit in the film, and I have to say that many of those artists who performed at the first Rock in Rio 40 years ago did not develop a relationship with Brazil like Iron Maiden did. Why do you think the Brazilian audience connected so much with Iron Maiden?
That's a very good question. I remember the first Rock in Rio, and I think it's just a kind of a very real kind of band. We've Maiden have built up their following, playing live, taking the music to the people. I think people appreciate that. And I know in Brazil, people love their soccer, love their football, and they love their music. So basically, same as us, So we have that in common. I just get the feeling they appreciate, it's kind of a real living, breathing band, and it's a relationship with the fans. I can't really put it into words, but it's there. So it's all, we've just built it up, and we've played there. We always try to come to Brazil. We enjoy playing there. So long may it continue, hopefully.
Absolutely. Well, I think this is it. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you enjoy Brazil with your new boss, Bruno Valverde.
All right.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.